The thoughts and opinions are those of each individual voice on the podcast and do not necessarily represent the policies of Cedar Valley High School.
Welcome to Aviator Airwaves, the official podcast of Cedar Valley High School, where we highlight the people and programs that make Cedar Valley such a really special place. Today we're talking about positivity, what makes Cedar Valley High School such a welcoming and upbeat school, and what's being done to keep that energy growing. Hi, I'm Courtney Johnson. I'm the principal, and we're here to spotlight the stories, achievements, and the events that make Cedar Valley soar. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and share the show with your fellow aviators. Okay, so before we jump in, let's go around and introduce ourselves on the mic and who's with us. So we'll start with you, Katie.
I'm Katie Mayer, a PLC coach at Cedar Valley.
I'm Brian Anderson. I'm a high school biology teacher at Cedar Valley.
I'm Sean Yeager. I'm a high school health and fitness teacher at Cedar Valley High School.
Okay, you guys, great introductions, but let's throw a little more out there. Tell us a little bit, like what makes you excited to go to work every day, and then we'll move on to the questions.
I'll go. My role is very unique because I get to work with all of the teachers in the building and just try to do whatever I can to support them, to support students. And so just having that reach to as many students as possible is really what gets me, here in the morning, because it's just a unique opportunity that our school is able to provide, and our district's very big on this support, and it's just really a great opportunity for me to support learning in any way I can.
Well, I've been teaching school for 15 years, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really rewarding career. And it's because we actually have an opportunity to do something that I believe teaching is a noble profession. I believe that we are really helping to shape the future, and that these kids that we know are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. And we need to not only teach them the curriculum that they need to be able to function academically, but also the life lessons and everything that we have figured out along the way we can share with them to help them to understand how to be their best selves, really. And that's where the nobility part comes in, if you can do something of worth that really helps them in a meaningful way.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Let's go to Mr. Yeager.
Well, I've been in education for about the same amount of time, a little bit longer, but for me, being around the kids and just trying to be a positive influence, waking up every day, education for me, it doesn't even feel like a job. Before I was a teacher, I was a career salesperson, and I'm just not really, I love being around people, but I'm a horrible closer. When I got into education, I realized it's all about just, maybe you're selling education to kids, but it's just about building relationships. I think education to me is just all about relationships, whether it's with your coworkers, the students, people like Katie who do a lot of activities for us as teachers to grow and develop and get to know each other better. And just hopefully being that same impact in someone else's life that somebody was for us when we were younger.
I love that. And I think, honestly, if we were to look back at our own learning, our own educational experiences, you remember how you felt, not necessarily everything that you learned. But sometimes I think about people that maybe bash education a little bit, but you've got to think about who taught you to read.
Yeah.
Who taught you some basic problem-solving skills? And when you break it down that way, you learned along the way. You may not be able to recall everything and who taught what, but it all kind of accumulated and built, and then you absolutely will remember how you felt, good or bad. And that's why I invited the three of you, because you all have such a positive impact on this school. And I would like to start with you, Katie. You've helped lead so many school-wide celebrations, from staff shout-outs to student recognition events. And so what role do those celebrations play in creating a positive culture here at Cedar Valley High School?
Oh, that's a good question. It's just those celebrations and the little things we're doing are just trying to have everybody be seen and know that they're just valued here at Cedar Valley.
Let's break those down.
Yeah. So first, the one thing that has been a big success that you've seen a lot of them are our teacher spotlights. We go into the teacher's room unexpectedly, bring them their favorite jet fuel, and we have a little card with something that a coworker said about them. And it has been amazing to hear what the students will say. We asked them for a little, couple comments about their teacher, and we had a teacher crying the other day. They were just so like, "This is wonderful. This is just, I would have never known this if you didn't come in and have these students say this." And that's kind of what we're pushing as well, is just kind of opening that opportunity for people to be grateful and to share those positive moments.
I think the vulnerability there,
Yeah.
it's unreal. You really feel the difference in that when you're talking with the students about what they love about their teacher, because kids are brutally honest. We know that. And just to hear some of their comments, it's been very mind-opening to me. And you're right, you feel that emotion.
Yeah. So that's been a really great one.
And you're doing some other things that are really
Yes.
cool. Why don't we talk about this new idea that you're going to launch any day soon?
Yes, so it actually launched yesterday, and we had a huge following just initially, but it's called Positivity Takes Flight, and my challenge for our teachers was to send out one positive postcard every single day until Christmas break, every school day that we're here. So that's about 32 postcards, and I have so many
Per
postcards.
teacher.
Yes, per teacher. I have so many postcards already in my mailbox that they're just ready to mail, and teachers have filled them out. Have put this thoughtful, positive message to students, and I'm just so excited to hear kind of the feedback, if we get any, I guess, feedback from the community that recognize, like, that's a really cool thing that the teacher took the time to write these things to share about my student or whatever it might be.
Excellent. We did that 6 years ago, something similar, not the same, but it had a lasting effect. In fact, parents kept that on the refrigerator.
Yeah. And
we were a lot smaller, and so to do this now with as many students as we have is quite the undertaking.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd like to share with this group?
Yeah. One other thing we did on Friday last week, which was Halloween, is a photo booth. We call it a photo booth, but it's more of a brag booth where we had this big inflatable, I don't even know what you call it, cube that students would come in and record a message for their teacher. And both of the teachers here actually got a shout out from a student just saying, like, "We appreciate you and you're our favorite teacher and this is why." And we had 40 or 50 videos with multiple kids in each video just bragging on their teacher. And I'm so excited to get to put those together to send them out to teachers this week.
Oh, they're going to love it. Well, thank you, Katie. I really love how much you personally and the group here today values connection over competition. And so now, Sean and Brian, you both, now Sean, I should probably say your last name, but we're going to go by first name. We'll let the audience figure this all out.
That's fine.
You both are known for greeting kids every single morning, bringing that burst of energy into the hallways. And how did that tradition start with you? And what impact have you seen from just simply saying, "Hey, good morning" to every student who walks by? I've seen you in the halls. It's pretty well known. And a lot of our teachers do this, but you two in particular, just what I hear kids talking about, that your name doesn't go unnoticed pretty much every week. I hear kids talking to each other. And so let's start with that. Do you want me to revisit that question? I know I went on a little long.
No.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's start with you, Sean.
Well, first of all, I always think of the John Wooden quote where he said, "Why are we so quick to criticize and so hesitant to compliment?" It's so easy to be positive and kind to people. It's easy, especially when you have other teachers around you. Everybody in the entire hall where my classroom is, they're out in the hallways. And it's just so easy greeting the kids in between class. It's nice to get out of the room for a few minutes anyway, especially if you're in there all day. But I look at it as an opportunity. It's kind of two ways. So the kids will pay it forward to someone else and then maybe even reciprocate it back to you. And it makes you feel good. It's so easy to compliment people, and I get a kick out of watching some of the reactions. Some kids, don't know how to respond. But at the end of the day, if all of us are doing it, and all the kids are, if in somehow, some way, whether they pay it forward, it would be such a wonderful, easy world to be in if everybody just went around complimenting people and being genuine about it too.
I love that, because the school is the social experiment. It's the social science lab of life. And for kids to see that, have it modeled for them, where it's not necessarily modeled on social media like we'd like it to be. When I was a kid, everything was in person, and it was an easier world to navigate than what these kids are faced with. And I think that's super powerful. Mm-hmm. Okay, Brian, your positivity is just huge at Cedar Valley.
Yeah, I try to have fun when I'm working. I remember the teachers that I really liked when I was in school, and they were the ones that made it fun. They made it so you wanted to be there. And I've developed some theories about life. I know that life cannot be perfect, but it can have perfect moments. And the more perfect moments you have, the closer to perfection your life will be. So if we can just create even perfect moments, like what I'll do is I'll get a song I like and I'll blast it on my speaker at the kids when they walk past me in the hall. And that's really the main thing I do, is just stand there and listen to music, because that's what it should sound like when you're walking down the hall, and we just laugh for a second and slap high fives and have a good time. And I believe that those are perfect moments. And those are the kind of moments you remember, and you can hold on to those, and they offset any negativity in your life when those times occur. It's kind of like you need to build up your reservoir of positivity, and that helps you when there's a deficit. When there's rough times in your life, you need to be able to remember that there are good times and there are good people that care about you. And that's part of what we do as well. And I just believe it's really important, beyond just teaching the curriculum, is showing these kids. And like you said earlier, if somebody's bashing education or whatever because they can't remember everything about biology or every rule of math or whatever, those are really that's the background for us teaching people how to be able to think. All the curriculum, all the different subjects, it's teaching people how to think. And that's truly the end goal. And once you know how to think, anything is possible. And if they can believe that life is positive, as well as having that higher level cognitive thought process, they are going to be powerful, productive, amazing people. And if we can have anything to do with that, then we have done our job.
I love that. All right, Katie, what have you observed at Cedar Valley from these two in particular, or anybody else, as far as building up that community of positivity?
Well, I've seen even both of them towards me. They've both just always express their gratitude and go out of their way to even just tell me I'm doing a good job, or that they appreciate that. And I know that's happening through every level, not just towards me. And so it's really cool to see just even two people that can spread so much positivity just on their own. And that's happening all within the school. And we have so many people like that at Cedar Valley that are just such a shining light here, that are doing so many things that tend to go unnoticed because, sometimes those things just fall through the cracks a little bit, but they're happening and somebody's feeling it at all times.
Well said, Katie. And I think something I've noticed about all three of you is your spontaneity of coming up with things that are life lessons, or just how you make people feel. People like you as much as they feel good around you. And all of you, and that's why you were invited today, all of you have that ability to make people feel valued and loved.
It helps having a principal who feels the same way, though. So you bring a lot of positive energy and vibe, especially in our staff meetings. And I know it's hard for you to be around all of us at once, but it's a reflection of the leadership we have here. So we appreciate you too.
Oh, thank you. All right. Any parting words? I know you all have a bag full of positive and good vibes and things that you can share that you truly believe in, and we'll end with that.
I think that just something that I try to remember, whether it's in my personal life or at work, or even, when I am in the classroom, whatever it may be, that it's so easy to get caught up on those little moments, or students that are being naughty that day, or or whatever hardship comes your way. But it's just those little moments that or like those are so insignificant compared to the day. There's a lot of positivity that we can pull, and just not let those small moments or annoyances kind of take that away from us.
Great. Anyone else?
Well, I would just kind of piggyback on what Katie was saying. If you surround yourself around people who are positive, it makes it a lot easier. But sometimes we maybe aren't able to do that. And if we aren't, I think it's important just to do maybe a perspective check every now and then. We're all, we all have our moments. We all have our days where maybe we're down. My wife's been a big inspiration to me. She's had a stroke. She's been in a bad car accident, and her attitude every single day is always positive. And so when I'm having a rough day over something so minor, I can easily think about someone like her or many other people in life, and just think, what, we got it pretty good, and we do have it pretty good here at Cedar Valley. There's a lot to be grateful for. So just those little perspective checks, I think, help keep me in line. Hopefully, will keep others in line. And then again, try to strive to surround yourself around good people.
I love that, Sean. And we'll end with Mr. Anderson. We spent a few days together learning about Freight Farm in Boston, and you're over the Freight Farm. And I remember walking around those historical sites, and I'm not kidding you, every block he had some inspirational quote or something from history that you would bring up and reflect and say, man, this is just a glorious day. Can you speak about that?
Yeah, it was. We had a lot of fun. I've always loved history, and I've always loved learning about the origins of the country. And I'd never been to Boston before, and I just was seeing all these things that I'd been hearing about. And we went to this park where there was these statues of these little ducklings, and it was from a book called Make Way for Ducklings, which is a book that my mom used to read to me when I was a little kid. And so I was just able to see all of these cool places, and obviously when we were walking around, like, oh, here's where Ben Franklin was, and here's this and that. I was hopped up for sure about it. I was really excited. And it helped us, it helps you to expand your horizons and to really try to understand things in a greater context around you. And I guess also what I'd say is, as far as what we do and the whole point of being positive is sometimes you feel overwhelmed in the magnitude of everything that you're dealing with in life. But if you can just remember, if you can just make the world a better place within your sphere of influence, that sphere of influence ripples out like those proverbial ripples on the pond when you toss those pebbles in there and you don't know where they stop. And if we do this right, they'll never stop. And, we'll never know the true extent of what we do. And that's not the point. We do it because we know that it is good. And I'm just grateful for this opportunity to be a teacher and to have teachers as colleagues and to have all the opportunities that are presented to us. And so thank you for all this as well.
And we'll end with this amazing community here at Cedar Valley. I've been in a lot of schools over my years, and I believe the kids out here are salt of the earth. They really, truly are. And they're good kids. They want to please. They want to do what's right. And I feel very fortunate to have this job. And I call it a calling. It really, truly is. And we're just fortunate to work with such great parents. I mean, I talked to a mother today who has taken in a student, and not one of her own, but just some child who needed some help, and they just opened their arms and adopted this child as a teenager. And I'm just so impressed with the families out here, the wonderful people that we get to interact with on a daily basis. So we'll end with that, and thanks for anybody who's listening, and thank you for allowing us the privilege of sharing some, positivity and light in hopefully into your child's life and your lives as well. And we'll go ahead and end with that. Thanks, everybody. And Brian and Sean, we're so grateful for everything that you do to make Cedar Valley a positive place to learn and grow.
Thank you.
Thank you.